Welcome back, everyone. How's everyone doing? Ta-da! We're finished but not finished. We've got a lot more to do. I've got a lot more bushes to put on here, some trees. Got all the figures to paint up. I've got a garage to make. And just, yeah, still a little bit more scenics to do. But I've literally done the nuts and bolts, and I'm really pleased how it's all sort of turned out. You can see all the different colours and variations. And then we've got our T34. They've set a light to get the old guys just there going out on exercise. So in this video, I'm going to show you all the scenics that I've completed so far. Don't worry about the white stuff. It's still drying off. The water effects. That all dry clear. Everything you see white will dry clear. Excuse me shaking, it's bloody freezing up in this shed today. And quite frankly, I can't afford the heating for it, so that's life. That's inflation for you. So just wanted to give you how it all looks. Look at it, man. Where the three sort of tanks are going through. You know, all that muds that I used and everything's just brilliant. I'll go through the resin in a bit. I'm just going to show you how's that for an army base, eh? I said I've got a garage just to go to the left of that platform ramp. And I'm basically going to zip down, show you everything. We'll run through the resin, a few tips and tricks. We'll run a train, and then I'll just quickly go through everything that I've used on this. But we'll start off at this end. So we got a T34 satellite. Looks really good with the old flickering light in there. We've got a little stream. So we've got our water effects, which is white, but they'll dry off. It's pretty good for a mud track, doesn't it? Still a little bit of scenic work to do. Let's say a lot more bushes to get on there and a couple more trees. You'll have to excuse the wheelchair clicking. Well, I can't help that. Mike Hebden said I need a sort of a wash down. I'm going to put that just here for sort of vehicle wash down after they come off the training ground. Bloody fantastic. Just really looks a little bit like Soltau in Germany. But if you've got any ideas, I've still got a bit of area I can probably put something else in. So if you've got any ideas, you can stick it down in the comments below. And we got our 25-meter range. I'm just going to come back a bit. Again, a little bit sort of overgrown-y, muddy, sort of sandy area. The guy's on the 25-meter range there. Oh, Capitano from his cabin, from his barracks there. It's a little bit like a guardhouse actually. Got my flagpole there, but I need still a bit of red material for the flag. But that's the actual flagpole. It'll be stuck to the side of the range. Excuse me sniffing, I've got a little bit of a cold. As you're doing this time of year, but everything you see on here is all my own work. It's all been put together by me, weathered by me, painted by me. The same as all the scenics, all done by me, all except those two trailers and these soldiers. The big trailer was painted and put together and weathered by me. We got our fuel pump, again with our Centurion. Painted and weathered by myself. But I've got to do so the fuel pumps are looking a little bit crispy and new. Some black marks there on the side where sort of tracks are, you know, the tank track pads have gone over or clipped the side. I've done the fuel tank there. Yeah, the fuel hut I need to do some weathering on that. This is basically a layout within a layout, because I'll have my train sort of on the outside, and that will join onto the main line. But I'm hoping that I can split it apart and have a scenic break there, and just maybe take this to a show. But there's a lot more work to do on here. I said I've got tank wash down. I've got a garage, sort of empty shed, shall I say? And yeah. So if you've got any other ideas that I should put on here, thanks to Mike Hebden for the vehicle wash down. I'm going to put that, I think, in this area here. It's lots of sort of small stuff, you know, lights for the camps, or camp lights, should I say, and yeah, all that sort of soldiers being painted up and put onto the layout. Barracks again, done by me. Just bear with me 1 second. Don't know what I was doing. Shot at a little white bubble of polystyrene. We got our naffy, but it's not. It's DSPX store. You can buy your chocky bars and boot polish and whatnots. Obviously British have naffy, and yeah, this is American Polish base, so it's got DS and PX both together. Easel barracks all nicely weathered up, looking rather smart. I've also joined the barracks, joined the scenery, tied that in with the assault course. Nice sporadic sort of grass and gravel and muds all together. Obviously, assault course, you've seen this already. You can see all the different colour variations. Nice. What's the word? What's the word I want? Nice, not gliding, just gentle slopes. You know, it's not. I can come down a little bit. You can see it. It's not flat, but it's all nice, gentle sort of scenery. Assault course looking really good. Guy just crossed, one crossing, and guy just about to cross. So we're going to get a lot more figures on here. We will run a train in a second. It's just looking really good. But yeah, this is just going to be one of those things. It's just going to take a while to complete. You know, just to get it. You know, a lot of stuff. I'm a bit nervous about putting too much on, because I don't want it either lost or broken. At the moment, most of this stuff can actually be pulled off. It's not, you know, like the assault course and all these buildings here, and they're not glued down. Just because I want to put them away. But I think you'll agree. Got a bit of weathering to do on the sort of tarmac area. I just want to give you a close up of this tarmac. This is textured, and that's that paint, the road in the can. Just looks, I mean, this is really close now. You know, you can see what I mean about the asphalt colour. It's just going to come back. I just wanted to, just on the sort of resin side of things, is you get your set with your hardener and your resin, and you do your scenics. Now did once. I put paint in the resin. I'll never do it again. It's just so not worth it, because one, you can see the bottom. You know, all you're just basically going to ruin anything you do underneath by putting paint into your resin. So just leave your resin clear. Make sure when you do your resin, make sure your board's level, or whatever you're doing is level. And then once you've done your scenery and your board's level, you can basically do the pour. And once you've poured it in, what you need to do, like you can see on the sides, is you need to tamper it so it joins, just break the seal of the edge of the resin, so it ties into the scenery basically. I've drawn this up onto the banks to give it sort of that nice shiny muddy look. You can see here I've drawn it, all the resin up onto the banks as well. No, that's really smart. It's just so impressed how it's come out. It'll look even nicer once all that white's gone and dried. But yeah. So basically that's just sort of some tips that you really need to do. And obviously get your burner once you've poured your resin, and just literally just a second, just go over the top of the resin just to get rid of any bubbles. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, really smart, man. So what I think I'll do is we'll come down, we'll give the train a couple of bits up and down, hopefully, and then I'll just quickly run through everything that I've sort of used so far. So let's start the old girl up, shall we? Oh, it would help if I actually switch the function button on. There we go. First, hopefully we won't have any stalls. So far, so good. Oh, hang on. Yeah. The problem with point sticking, actually, I'm gonna have to sort that out. Yeah, I got a bit of gravel stuck on that point. I'm gonna have to hoover that up actually, but you can see basically the train can just go on a run around. Just letting you listen to the sounds. How cool is that? So I've got a little bit of cleaning to do on that track yet. You can see it all works fine and dandy. Just gonna run it back down to the ramp again. Oh, so it's a layout within itself, like, you know. Train right there and then run on the second line all the way back round. So plenty of sort of shunting opportunities to do. Just going to turn that off for a second. It's quite loud, that is. it takes longer to cut off than it does to start up. But you can see, basically, yeah, train working now. But, you know, hopefully this has given you some ideas to, you know, I know, obviously, gauge, you know, it's predominantly sort of British models, and, you know, you'd find it hard to have military vehicles going by, especially sort of modern times, going by rail. But certainly if you do steam, you got, you know, the Shermans and all that. You know, there's nothing stopping you getting some war whales and making some kind of army base. It doesn't have to be even as elaborate as this. You know, there is so much you can do with a model railway. It doesn't have to be, you know, yes, you can have your station, you can have your buildings, you know, to whatever era that you're into, but you can, you know, have a football stadium, you know? How many football stadiums do you see on layouts? I mean, the three things I wanted was a port, an army base, and a fairground, you know, outside the station and the buildings. Well, we've got our army base. The port will be making a return. It'll be in a different format. It'll be more of a fishing port. And as you can see there, you know, I've started on the fairgrounds. I've got something really cool to show you actually on the next one. And yeah, so you might want to get tuned in for that, because I've found something that's really cool. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can have a football match. You can, if you come into Swindon Station, you can see like a dome thing, which is, you know, an Oasis swimming pool. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can have other than just doing a scrapyard. You know, it's just, there's nothing wrong with a scrapyard, but I just think it's an easy option. You know, there's a lot of other stuff that you can do. So, you know, it's just, at the end of the day, you got obviously space constraints and all the rest of it. So, yeah. Right, just going to quickly run through some stuff that I've used. So all the vehicles are 3D printed from Scale 3D Germany. I'll try and put a link in the description for most of the stuff that I can, you know, if I can get, well, I should be able to, obviously with the vehicles. If you click on sellers, other items, you can see all the different stuff he's got. He's got everything from Shermans to World War II Japanese tanks to Russian stuff to, he's got all sorts, you know, so it's pretty cool. Obviously, most of my scenics is WWS, the static grass, the muds. Obviously, resin is resin. That was a knock building, ruined sort of church. Platform ramp was an old Hornby, which I basically cut down and turned it into a sort of loading dock ramp. Also, I've mentioned all the vehicles already. The Nissan Hut was a 3D printed one. It was two kits basically up, joined together. As I said, there was a bit of a pain to put it together because you can see, just if you look really hard, you can see the joins very, very slightly. But yeah, it was a bit of a pain to put together, but it looks really good. Obviously the range, that was a bodge build. Bits and pieces that I had in my odds and ends basket. This was a Fala Barracks. Got some mouthful in it. Which I put together, painted, weathered. It was actually quite cheap, the Fala Barracks. It is quite, it's not, obviously you can see the size of the guy. It's not a huge building, but does the job. Again, painted and weathered and all that by me. Fala Fuel Point, which needs to be weathered. This was a Keebury building. It's Keebury shooting range, but obviously I've changed it and turned it into our DSPX, or nappy store for you Brits. These are from Waylander, his name is, again off eBay. I'll put a link in the description for the resin barracks. The roofs, you know, they're separate. They all come as a kit, but I mean, you have to glue the roofs together and stuff, which is good because you can basically paint the barracks and then you can paint the roofs and then you can stick it all together. So that's pretty cool. As I said, most of the scenics was WWS, got some Geek Gaming and some Woodland Scenics and some other sort of independent stuff as well. This assault course, probably the most expensive thing on the layout and a bloody pain in the arse to build. It was a Falla assault course, but it came out really good. And again, just mixture of different sceneries. You can use literally just whatever you want to on the sceneries, whatever suits you. But if you can see, you can see all the different colours and shades and, you know, different contours. That was the word I was looking for. Nice, gentle contours, you know. And I'm just going to give you one last overview of the whole scene. Oh, that culvert, that was a Woodland Scenics culvert. It was 2 singles and I basically joined them, to cut them down and join them together to make a double, because it was the perfect width for this very sort of small stream. But yeah, I'm really I can't wait for that to dry out, because it will just literally just be spot on. And like I said, I've got a few more bushes and trees to put on in this area. But I think you'll agree. Not bad for a bloke that ain't got no fingers. Not bad at all. But I shall show you bits and pieces as and when I put them on. So I hope you've sort of enjoyed this sort of build, because I certainly have. Really had a lot of fun sort of making this. And yeah, just really, you know when you've done it right, because you're just like, yeah, that don't look too bad. So I'm just going to leave you with that shot. Obviously we're coming to Christmas, you know where I'm going to be. I hope you guys all have a great Christmas, you know, wherever you're spending it. And I thank you for obviously watching and for your continued support. I thank you also for treating me as normal, you know, because my body is pretty messed up. And yeah, that's life. And yeah, I just thank you for, you know, I don't like that whole pity thing or anything like that. I'm sort of way beyond the pity stage. So yeah, just thank you for treating me normal. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and lots more to come. Lots more to come on this channel, especially when I move. So yeah, what do you reckon, guys? What do you reckon? I'm just going to leave you with that shot. And I shall see you in the new year. So take care, everyone. Bye for now.